Ladies, have you ever wondered about the wonderful world of essential oils, all that wellness that you hear about, nature's finest essences in a bottle that are supposed to cure all that ails you? Welcome to the Rebel Tribe, where empowerment meets attitude and sass meets savvy. We're not just another podcast. We are your virtual tribe of fierce females ready to conquer the world. So join us as we smash through stereotypes, break barriers, and redefine what it means to be a woman in today's world. Get ready today to learn all about the wonderful world of essential oils. My guest today is Cherlynn Thomas. She's a mother of four, wife to Ned. She's a teacher. And most importantly, she is an expert on essential oils. So, Cherlynn, welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for this opportunity.
So, tell me right off the bat, why essential oils? What made you decide to learn all about essential oils?
So, just to start off, was 17 years ago when my daughter was an infant, she kept getting recurrent fevers and we couldn't figure it out. And like they were really intense fevers that would create her to be in like a lethargic situation. And it was kind of dangerous because when an infant has a fever of 105, you take them immediately to the doctor or to the emergency room. And the doctor said, go to the emergency room. She's too lethargic. And so we went to the emergency room with a 3-month-old. She had a full workup and they couldn't find anything. They said, she's clearly fighting something. We have no idea what it is. They did a spinal tap, all of that. And, as a mom, and she's my fourth child, and as a mom of a fourth kid, I was very scared. I was very nervous. I didn't like that they were doing a spinal tap on my infant, and had some pretty significant concerns about that. I was trusting them, and my sister is a nurse and she came with me because I wasn't handling it very well. So from there, they gave my daughter, a shot of something in her leg that took the fever down. But then I had to do a follow-up appointment and they had to give her the shot again to keep that fever down. And so then every other month she would keep getting these fevers. And so I don't want my daughter, my infant baby, to have recurrent fevers or to have these shots in her leg every time. So I just went to look for other sources of how else can I be on top of this and help her out. So I went to the herb store in my town of Las Vegas and I talked to the herbalist there and I said, what can I do for her? And she said, let's do some echinacea angustifolia root. And so I gave her a tincture of that and that would take her fever down. And I could, I didn't have to do a shot at the doctor's office, and it was natural and it worked. So that was really, really helpful and reassuring to me. Then a year later, my sister, she said, a different sister than the nurse sister, but this one is also now a nurse. She said to me, why don't you try something like, why don't you try to help her out with some essential oils? And I said, well, what's that? And I said, well, she gets recurrent fever. So what do you have that would help for her fevers? And she said, well, let me look it up, because she was also new to essential oils. And so she said, well, peppermint's good for fever. So we put some peppermint. I didn't know what to do with the peppermint, and I did all the things wrong. And so for infants and stuff, you're supposed to dilute it. You're supposed to put it on the bottom of their feet. And I for sure just put it across her forehead because that's what I thought. And so, but even though I put it across her forehead, which is not where you put it, for an infant, you need to put it where they can't touch it. Okay. So babies are always touching their faces. You don't put it there, put it on their spine or the bottom of their feet. So anyway, her fever was gone in 15 minutes. And I was like, what? What is this? So a simple thing that was so affordable. I didn't have to go to the doctor's office, because every time you went to the doctor's office, that was another $60 copay. and things like that. So I was like, this is more effective and it's working. And so I just helped my daughter that way with the essential oils. And I learned to dilute them, and I learned to not put them on her forehead because she would rub her eyes, get it in her eyes and start screaming. Now, peppermint won't damage her eyes or anything, but you just have to learn how to apply them so that diluted and on the bottom of the feet or up the spine. And then it's more effective and safer for the child. But anyway, as a result of that, she would have these recurrent fevers all the way till she was 7. And then I was like, why is this happening? Like every other month we get another fever kind of thing. And I volunteered at my kids' schools all the time. So I had been at my daughter's school, and she was just doing fine. And then an hour later, I had gone home to do some things, and an hour later, I get a phone call from the school. Your daughter has a fever. Can you come and get her? And I'm like, what? So after I picked her up, I asked my daughter, I said, what changed? Because I just saw you at school. You were playing, you were fine. And then now you're not. So what happened in the like hour since I left you? And she said, well, we were playing on the playground, and this girl was fighting with this girl and calling her bad names. And I just felt bad. And so I realized that she was, as she was sharing that she was taking on the emotions of the other kids. Like her fever manifested because of the kind of playground discord, we'll call it, that was occurring. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this fever is coming from an emotional thing. We had gone the route of trying to do allergy tests or food tests, or trying to figure out why she was having these fevers for so long. But what the result was is so then I just used the essential oils for her emotions, and guess what? No more fevers. None. Gone. You can say that she outgrew them. No, but she was having an emotional situation where she needed emotional support, and was able to not have those fevers anymore. So I am sold on essential oils. Since then, we've been able to use them for, like, my husband, he had a Mohs surgery. It's like a surgery. He had it here next to his nose, the bridge of his nose. And what it is like you have to follow the line of the situation that was going on in his nose. And the doctor had to like dig pretty deep in there. So we used essential oils and to compact that really well. And he had no scarring. So lots of things that we've been able to use these essential oils for. So yeah, what were you going to say, Liliana?
Oh, when you were talking about, I'm sitting there going, ow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense surgery. And my mom, she ended up having to have that same surgery maybe 6 months ago or so. So I knew what to do. I was like, oh, I know what to send you. It's a bottle of Correctex, which has helichrysum in it. And helichrysum essential oil is so great. Everyone's first aid kit needs to have helichrysum because it stops bleeding. It reduces scarring. It's just so really, really effective essential oil. The other thing I wanted to say is how important it is to use high quality herbs and essential oils. So when I started with my herb journey, I learned, because I took classes, I took a herbology 101 and herbology 201 and things like that. And I learned in those courses that where you get your product really matters. It has, because they will put things into capsules and then cook them, and all of the benefits go right out. So you take them in and it does your body no good, and it just spills out. But if you take a capsule that has some herbs in it, and then you can take the capsule and pour it out and dump it out, those capsules are fine because they haven't been cooked and chelated and all this stuff that's like not healthy for your body and your kidneys. So your body can absorb those better, and they work and they're more effective. So look for the capsules that you can open and dump them out, and those are more effective. So in addition, to save money or to be more practical or whatever, to make more money for the companies, sometimes they will add fillers into them, like chemical fillers into the herbs and things like that. So you want to make sure that your source where you're getting it is actually a pure source. So learning that from the herb side, the minute I was introduced to doTERRA essential oils, it was like everything, all the lights were flashing on exactly the same, because it aligned perfectly with what I learned from my herb world. And that is, purity matters. When it's a pure essential oil, it is potent. And if it's pure, if it's adulterated, meaning that it's like got fillers or chemicals or been distilled improperly, then you're at risk, because the FDA will allow any company to label something as pure therapeutic essential oil, even if like only 10% of that bottle is lavender. If it's 10% lavender, it still can be labeled pure therapeutic essential oils.
10%.
Whereas doTERRA, if you order a bottle of doTERRA oil, you're not going to get 10% lavender and then 90% something else. You're going to get 100%, all the whole bottle full of lavender essential oil. So your sourcing and where you get the essential oils really, really matters. So if you go to like a grocery store and purchase lavender or lemon or helichrysum, you're going to get something that's labeled their pure therapeutic and grade, and it's not. And you don't know how much of it is that actual essential oil, and all the rest of it is, they don't have to say what it is. It could be anything else. So I really, purity really matters, and your sourcing really, really matters. It's so important to get them from really high quality sources. doTERRA has now contracted with 90%, maybe 99%, I think it is now, percent of its growers. So they say to the people in Italy who source their lemon essential oil, they say, okay, we're going to make a contract with you. It's an exclusive contract, and we will buy your essential oil because it is certified pure therapeutic grade, because doTERRA tests them in their own labs, and also what is it called? Outside sources that are not, there's a name for it. I can't think of it, but independent party. An independent party will also test their essential oils to verify. So it's not just like internally, in the internal company evaluating them. So anyway, they will have independent parties also evaluate them, and so that they're sure that it's certified pure therapeutic grade, and the lemon essential oil that you're getting is actually the best lemon essential oil in the world. And so they've contracted with all of the farmers that they have across the globe, and have 99% exclusivity with those contractors and those farmers. So I love it. I love essential oils. I use them every single day in lots of different ways. One thing you had asked me is how women can use them. And so I wanted to address that as well today. So for example, for ovary support, whatever time you're in your lifespan, you can use essential oils for ovary support. What I do is generally topical support. You can use basil essential oil, and that is, that one's not a hot or a spicy oil, so you wouldn't need to like dilute it so much, but you can dilute it for being able to spread across a larger area. So across the abdomen, I use fractionated coconut oil, or you can use first cold pressed virgin olive oil. Any brand is fine. And you can use that and just put like 2 or 3 drops of the olive oil or the fractionated coconut oil in your palm, and then 2 drops of basil, and just rub that around the lower abdomen for ovary support. Or you can use rose essential oil, or you can use my favorite essential oil. It's actually a active botanical. It's called a nutritive duo, and that is yarrow palm. So it's yarrow essential oil with pomegranate together, and I love to use that one. Some of these you can use topically, internally, and aromatically. Like for example, the basil, and the rose, you could put it topically across the abdomen, or you can use it like you put it in a glass of water and drink it down, or in a capsule. Or you can use it in a diffuser, like you would put it in an aromatic diffuser and just put a few drops of water in that, and then it disseminates across throughout the room. Yarrow palm, I don't put that in a diffuser, but I definitely put it internally. I just put a couple drops under my tongue every day. I love the yarrow palm benefits. It's great for hormones. It's great for supporting emotions. If somebody has like long time emotional baggage, it'll bring that up, and you've got to take care of it. So ovary support, basil, rose, yarrow palm. Let's see. The next one is breast support. People talk about doing a liver cleanse or a gut cleanse and things like that. You can also do what's called a breast cleanse. So what you would do is you can do that every month. You can put, again, with fractionated coconut oil or olive oil or coconut oil, whatever you want to use that would spread it. You can put 1 drop of clary sage essential oil, 1 drop of frankincense, 1 drop of grapefruit, and 1 drop of pink pepper. So I would just put that concoction in my hand, stir it around, and then apply it to the breast area. And you can do that once a month. And that will help support your breast area for breast support. And that's just like a monthly little cleanse to help support healthy breasts. For fertility, if people are struggling with that in that time frame, people can do the same thing. Let's see. I'm just checking. All of these can be used topically, internally, and aromatically. 1 drop of clary sage, 1 drop of geranium, 1 drop of rose, 1 drop of spikenard, and 1 drop of thyme. And so if you want to put those like in a veggie capsule, doTERRA sells those as well, or you can get them from the pharmacy, just empty veggie capsules, and you just put 1 drop of each of those oils in it. And that's really helpful to support fertility. Thyme, the thyme essential oil is very supportive for progesterone support as well. And so fertility is those 5 oils. And then we have a #1 selling product, which is called Lifelong Vitality. And that's actually kind of an herbal supplementation product. It's a trio. So the first one is called Alpha CRX. And then that one's for healthy cells and energy. And then the next one is XC Omega, which is the omegas, omega 3 and 6. And then the Microplex BMZ, which is a whole food supplement. All 3 of those, you can open the capsule and dump them out. So they're not cooked the wrong way, and they're not bad for your liver or kidneys, but it's our #1 selling supplement. You can use this if it's that time of your life where you're needing a prenatal vitamin. You can use this as a prenatal vitamin recommended for pregnancy. It's also really helpful for pain and inflammation. So I use it because I'm 59 and past menopause. And so I use it to help with my pain and inflammation. So it's really beneficial for all ages and all spans of pre-menopause, menopause, or post-menopausal situations. So doTERRA also has another supplement, which is called a bone nutrient supplement, and it's really effective for leg cramps. So sometimes when we get older, we have this thing, restless leg relief. So this bone nutrient is helpful for that. But in addition, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 essential oils that are beneficial for that restless leg relief. And so 10 drops of Aroma Touch essential oil. It's a proprietary blend from doTERRA, and 10 drops of Siberian fir, 10 drops of copaiba, 10 drops of frankincense, both of which copaiba and frankincense are really fantastic for inflammation. So if you put 10 drops of each of those in a roller bottle and then fill it to the top with fractionated coconut oil, then you massage that blend that you've made DIY at home. You massage that blend for restless leg relief. It helps with inflammation and everything like that. The bone nutrient capsule, the herbal supplement, has coral calcium in it. Coral calcium is really helpful for, sometimes when we're older and even when we're younger, we get bone spurs. And so that coral calcium is really beneficial for getting rid of those, or supporting you when you have bone spurs. When I worked on Wall Street, I worked on Wall Street 13 years. I got horrible bone spurs on the bottom of my feet. The pain was debilitating. I wish I would have had this bone nutrient, but I did not. And so I had surgery and had them removed, but that's the other option. With doTERRA, we're not anti-doctor or anti-medicine or any of that. We need to go to a doctor. We break a bone, essential oils are not going to put a cast on for you. You do need to go get help for when you need help. And sometimes I go to the doctor just to get a diagnosis, so I know what I'm addressing. I need to have their help and their expertise. So I really appreciate their medical care, and so we support all of the medical care, but also we do everything that we can for our own self-care in an educated way. Another thing that I already talked about that. Another product that doTERRA has for women's hormones is something called the phytoestrogen complex. So phytoestrogen complex is not an estrogen. What it does is it cleans out bad estrogens. There's a bad estrogen thing that's called xenoestrogens, and it comes from like plastics and just toxins in our environment. We have so many more toxins than we used to have. This phytoestrogen complex cleans out those xenoestrogens, the false estrogens. And so it's like a broom, and it just brushes those out of our system. So it's an estrogen cleanser, let's say, so that the natural estrogens that we need for our body can be helpful to us. So it dislodges and clears toxins, including toxic estrogen, and then protects the cell receptors from being bombarded by toxic estrogens. So it's like we have I'm putting up my 4 fingers. So if you have like your fingers poked up, and I'm wiggling my fingers, these are like receptor sites for your hormones. And if they're blocked, then nothing can get in. So the xenoestrogens go in and block those hormones. And so you can't get the beneficial nutrients and things like that. So you need this phytoestrogen to come in and sweep those false estrogens out so that they can properly receive the good estrogens, and so you can have the healthy benefits that you need for your body to be healthy throughout all stages of life, regardless if it's pre or post or anytime through puberty, through premenopausal and menopausal and postmenopausal. There we go. So phytoestrogen complex, highly recommend. For additional estrogen support that's not herbal supplementation, it's beneficial to have 5 essential oils, and you don't have to have all 5. You can pick one, and that's what I love about doTERRA, is because if you don't have one, use a different one, because use the ones you have, so you don't have to have all of them. Just use the ones you have. So estrogen support can be given through Magnolia, and that's available in a roller bottle already made for you. Magnolia essential oil from the flower. It's already diluted, and you just roll it on. And the places I like to roll it on are under. So if you lift your hair, if you have longish hair, and right underneath your hairline is a wonderful place to apply diluted essential oils. Also, the inside of wrists, inside of elbows, or behind your knees, bottom of the feet. So any of those reflex points are really great places. And behind the hairline is called the occipital lobe. And that's where it's really helpful to penetrate right to the brainstem. So that's a really good place. Neroli is another one that's really fantastic for estrogen support. So the other place in reflexology that you can put essential oils for hormone benefits is the inside of your foot. So the inside of your ankle, I should say. So so imagine you have your foot there, and so then you go to your inside ankle, and right behind your inside ankle is the reflexology point for your ovaries. So that's where you would want to apply an essential oil for any kind of hormone support. So you would apply either the magnolia or the neroli. You could apply diluted rose essential oil or jasmine or clary sage. Also, if a woman is ready to give birth, then they can apply that clary sage right there at that behind the ankle, inside ankle, and with some pressure. Then my friend used to do this when her friends and cohorts and whatnot were about to give birth, and then that would help the woman go right into labor. So clary sage is a labor-inducing essential oil. But if we're not pregnant, it just is helpful for our hormone supports. Okay. All right. So for progesterone support, for our adrenals and for fertility, for sustaining hormones is thyme essential oil or grapefruit or oregano. Now, these two, thyme and oregano, are hot oils, meaning that you have to dilute them if you're using them topically because, you know, it's spicy hot. Like you would, like I would never put oregano on my tongue, oregano essential oil, because it's so hot. My eyes would turn red and whatever. It won't damage you in any way. It's nature's antibiotic. It's really good for you, but it's just too spicy because it's really, really potent. For example, a peppermint essential oil, 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the therapeutic equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So peppermint tea, as we know, is super good for calming your stomach and to relax and, you know, take that in the evening to help with digestion. Well, if you had 28 cups of that, that would be the therapeutic equivalent of 1 drop of peppermint tea. So that's the same type of thing that goes on with the thyme and oregano. They're very hot, so you need to dilute them. Dilute them with fractionated coconut oil or olive oil. And then grapefruit is also really great for progesterone support. All right, for testosterone support, for sex drive and things like that, you can use topically black spruce, patchouli, sandalwood, or ylang ylang. Dilute those. You can use any one of those. You don't have to use all of them, and just apply them to the reflex points, like I said before, inside of wrists, inside of elbows, behind the neck, etc. And the aroma is really delightful for all of those. All right. Do you have any questions to this point, Melodian?
Oh yeah, I had all kinds of questions. You answered a lot of the ones I was going to ask already, so.
I'm just going at it. So I just thought I better stop and ask, wait a minute, fire hose here. Do you have any questions? What have you?
It all sounds wonderful. And, you know, I mean, it sounds great. All I have to do is use all these little essential oils and life is good. But what about like side effects? Are there any risks or side effects that we need to be aware of when we use that?
Oh, that's a really, really important question. Okay, so if I have something going on in my health that I need to take, like, I don't know, pain medicine or heart medicine or something, some type of medication that's prescribed by my doctor, I want to follow my doctor's instructions. So, for example, I would follow my doctor's instructions. I would tell him I would tell them what I'm also doing to support that with my essential oils or supplements, because they always want to know. They want to know what else you're using. So the thing is so I think it's very, very important to not take your medications at the same time as your essential oils and supplements. So you want to separate that by an hour, I would say. So if you take your, whatever it is, medication, blood pressure, or whatever, you want to take, you want to follow your doctor's instructions for that, but then and wait for an hour before you add anything else into that. So especially if it's like the oral supplementation, like the herbal supplements, I would want to wait for that time frame. So I haven't, like, if people have epilepsy, that kind of thing, then they're not it's not recommended that they take wintergreen. So they should not use wintergreen essential oil. What's another one? So peppermint essential oil is really great, but when you're trying to have your milk supply come in, if you're having just given birth to a baby, you would want to just hold off on the peppermint because it can help reduce the milk supply. When you're ready to stop breastfeeding or something like that, then you want to use that, and it would help to dry that up so that you can move on from that. So you just want to consult with your physician, and always do that so that you are on the same page with what's going on. When I talk to my physicians, I tell them I tend to do things more natural than just sign up for all sorts of medications. So I like to try something natural and just make sure that they're on board with that. And then just use precautions if you're taking medications that you need to take for your, overall well-being. So other than that, the precautions are you really do need to dilute hot oils. It will say, so if you so if you go onto doTERRA's website, it will say S if you have for the sensitive skin, D for dilution, N for neat, and I for internal. So it'll tell you like letters, and those mean, dilute, or be careful if you have sensitive skin, or you can use this internally, or neat means you don't have to dilute it, kind of thing. So there's little letters that go alongside of that. What else do you have for questions? That was a good question.
You talked a lot about using it internally and using it to, to massage and things. But how about aromatherapy? We hear so much lately about, aromatherapy as
Yes.
the cure-all for everything. How do we use that effectively? Because I see some of these like diffusers and things in the stores, and I'll be
Mhm.
honest, I've brought a couple of them home and I don't smell anything. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Even working, okay, especially like these reed diffusers. I mean, I have a couple. I use essential oils. I confess, I use essential
Yeah.
oils, which was why I was kind of excited to have you on here because I'm a big believer. And I have, the diffusers and everything. But I've seen some of these like reed diffusers and things, and I don't ever notice anything when I walk, when I have them. So, what are the best ways? How do we effectively use aromatherapy every day?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good question. Thank you for asking that. So, for doTERRA's essential oils, you can use them aromatically, topically, or internally in some cases. So for other brands, no, aromatic or topical, but not ever internal because of they're not tested, and you don't know all the things that you're getting. So doTERRA's, I just follow their, I just don't, I never purchase any other brand, only doTERRA. Okay, so to the aromatherapy, how do we use them for aromatherapy? So there's diffusers, and I have never used a reed diffuser. So sometimes those reed diffusers, like they smell like candles to me, and somewhat. And I can't purchase, and I'm not going to knock any brands, but those candles that have smells that you put in your house, those I'm allergic to them. They make me cough and sneeze instantly. So similarly, I don't do reed diffusers for the same risk. I'm like, I don't think so. I can't. My body just does not respond well to those. But doTERRA's essential oils, I've never had any issues with them. They're certified pure therapeutic grade. If I put wild orange in my diffuser, it's going to smell like a beautiful citrus grove. It's going to smell so great. The thing is we have something called a amygdala and it's part of our brain. So the essential oil aroma goes inside of our nose, and it goes back into like our head somewhere, and it touches that amygdala. So The amygdala is such an important part of our brain. You know, when grandma used to make her apple pies and you would smell the smell of the apple pie baking, and it just brings you right back to home. It brings you back to grandma's Thanksgiving apple pie time. So memories of that are stored in that amygdala. So those aromas go inside of our nose and hit that amygdala and bring back those positive memories. So a lot of this aromatherapy is touching upon that, the similar aspects of grandma apple pie-ness. So what do you think? Just think to yourself, what would the smell of wild orange be? Wild orange is steam distilled from the rind of the orange. So when you touch an orange or you touch a peppermint leaf, you get those essential oils on your hands and you can smell it. You can smell the peppermint when you're at the store, or smell the basil because oh, my hands smell like basil, or cilantro, or an orange rind. And all of those things are the essential oils that are from that plant. So then it goes and travels to your amygdala, and wild orange is happy, it's uplifting, it's bright, it's cheery. So those are the feelings and the emotions that wild orange brings about. Wild orange is the oil of abundance. It brings happiness and joy and abundance. It also, if you take it internally, is for me anyway, a diuretic. So it will help clean things out really well. So wild orange is so wonderful. You can use it aromatically, topically, or internally, and has great, great benefits. So for aromatic reasons, I love to have the room smell delightful and happy. Like if my kids are working on their homework, I want it to be a happy place. So if you combine peppermint essential oil, 1 drop of that and 1 drop of wild orange right before a kiddo goes into a test, that creates a positive emotional experience for them. Wild orange is powerful when it combines with peppermint, it brings your body to homeostasis and you are ready. You're like ready to take action. It's an energizing kind of combination, peppermint and wild orange. In addition, doTERRA has this whole protocol where massage therapists, regular people like you and I, etc., where we can purchase this it's called Aroma Touch Technique kit. And it has 8 essential oils in that kit, plus fractionated coconut oil. And then there's a training associated with that kit on how to apply it. And you do this training, it takes like an hour, and you learn how to apply it. You can't do it to yourself. You have to do it to someone else. So you can do it to your spouse, or you can put it on to your child, or whatever it is. You apply the essential oils up on the spine, and you put balance essential oil, which is a grounding oil, and you apply that in a certain way. And then you put on lavender. You put that on topically, and then you put it on the ear lobes, and it's like an auricular activating system, something like that. I'm getting that mixed up with the reticular activating system, but anyway, it was like with the auricular, something with the old ears. But anyway, so then comes other essential oils, Deep Blue, proprietary blend from doTERRA, and On Guard, which is our really excellent blend for immune support. Aroma Touch, which is the name of the process, the Aroma Touch technique is called after that. And the Aroma Touch blend, which is in the Aroma Touch technique, is really great for muscles and for massage. Then anyway, a few other oils because I'm forgetting them right at the moment, but you put those on the spine in a certain manner, and then you put peppermint and wild orange, the homeostasis, 2 oils on the bottom of the feet, and then also on the spine. And that whole process is in a training when you purchase that kit. It's really wonderful, and it's an aromatherapy practice that many people use. As a result of that, the benefits of doing that are obviously relaxation, and some people who have So in certain cultures, like in Asian cultures, it's very uncommon for there to be any contact from the child to the parent. But when that child applies that aroma touch technique to that parent, there is a huge bond that's created from them, and both of them embrace and are so grateful for one another. And they're able to open up and have a really intimate experience together as child to parent goes. So that's one other benefit. Then in addition, when people have had, very difficult medical conditions, this aroma touch technique, the aromatherapy technique, is so beautiful because it helps with calming anxieties. It helps with worry and long-term illness. It helps with the long-term emotional effects of that long-term illness. It also helps people who have not been able to sleep for years to be able to sleep at night. It's very, very calming. It touches the inflammation, it touches emotions, and it touches long-term well-being. It's really, really beneficial. Aromatic is huge in essential oils, and it's very, very important. And you don't have to have like a diffuser to do that. You can put it topically on, and then you take in the aromas, and there's so many benefits to that. There's emotional benefits and physical benefits as well as the amygdala touch, to bring back emotional memories that have been stored in there that need to be resurfaced. So hopefully that answers your question for the aromatherapy.
Yeah, I used to use it before I had diffusers. I used to just put it on like cotton balls and put cotton balls or put it on, I just put it on like the light bulbs in my bedroom. I
Oh,
would put
wow.
lavender on the light bulb on my bedroom lamp so that I could smell it. That because I use lavender a lot. I have insomnia bad. Well, I had insomnia bad before I had my hypnosis session with Faye.
Yeah.
Now I don't have it so bad, but I used to use the lavender all the time to help me sleep, and I just didn't have any diffusers or anything, so I would just put it on the light bulb.
Yeah, yeah, that's so interesting. Very good. Yeah, lavender is very, very calming. For me, doTERRA's lavender is very strong. So I tend to use for sleep, I use their blend called Serenity, and that is a more sweeter aroma for me. So it's not so strong. But excuse me, I really love using lavender for lots of things. It's also good for medicinal purposes.
What are
And if
some of the common like misconceptions about essential oils? I'm sure there are some out there.
Yeah, my husband says I'm the voodoo medicine girl. So people sometimes don't believe that they'll work. And sometimes then they don't work because they don't buy into that. So you have to have some faith in it that it will, well, I'm going to try this and see how it goes. And then guess what? Oh, I can't believe that worked. That kind of thing. Sometimes, excuse me, I have a little tickle. I need to use my oils to get rid of my tickle. But sometimes people need to so let's just say, for example, I have a headache and I want to use peppermint essential oil to take my headache. So I put it across my forehead, which I do fine because I don't put it in my eyes afterward. But maybe it doesn't work. And so then I'm like, well, why didn't that work? So other people need something else. So you can put Deep Blue Rub, which is a proprietary blend from doTERRA. And that one, I recommend people put it for migraines and stuff, like just right on the crown of their head. And that will take their headache. So sometimes if one thing doesn't work, guess what? We have another oil you can try. So there's the benefit of having these oils is that if one doesn't work for you, you can try something else. So for example, Deep Blue Rub is really excellent for muscle and tissue issues, but this lemongrass is also good for muscle and tissue issues. So if maybe Deep Blue Rub is not working super well for you, then try lemongrass. Frankincense is the king of all essential oils. It's really, really beneficial. It helps with so many different things. If you don't know what to use frankincense. It's helpful for emotions, it's helpful for pain, inflammation, it's helpful for skin. I mean, its benefits are really broad. And so I use a frankincense probably every day. Myrrh is wonderful. You can just put it on a canker sore and it will go away. It tastes like cleaning supplies, but that's okay. You don't have a canker sore anymore. And clove essential oil has an what's called an ORAC score higher than blueberries. So it has antioxidants that are really powerful, higher than blueberries do. So clove essential oil is a very, very powerful essential oil. And you can use that one topically, aromatically, and internally. It is a hot oil, so you want to dilute that one. But you can put a little drop of that on your finger and put it on a baby's gum, and then that will help with any with them teething. Also, if you can't get to the dentist right away and you have some sore tooth or something, you can put that on your tooth, and it's kind of got a it kind of has like a numbing effect. So lots of, I mean, those essential oils have so many uses, and you don't have to have them all memorized. I've just been using them for 16, 17 years. So I have a lot of experience with them, but I don't have any experience with them in terms of like, I don't know, kidney health or fungus or anything like that. So I have experience with what I have, but I use my books. And so with every person that purchases a kit from me, I highly recommend that they get a book, because then you can look things up on your own, and there's also an app, and the app is also super helpful. And I just use my app and use my book, and then I can help resolve any situation or give support to any situation that arises. And then I can also know how to use my essential oils and the supplements as well.
I was going to ask if you could recommend any books or courses or anything, because yeah, I mean, you have to know what works for what, and especially if you're trying to blend oils. So
Yes.
what's out there? What do you recommend? There's so many books about oils out there. I've looked, and it's like, which
Yeah.
one is legit and
Yeah. Good. So actually, I'm developing some courses, so they should be ready as soon as I get them done. But there's some courses that I'm developing. I want to do first a course for first aid. So what should you have, first aid wise? Obviously, it would be the helichrysum that I mentioned and frankincense. So those two will be in that first aid course. And then the Aroma Touch technique has a course that comes with, when you purchase that kit, it comes with that. And that's by Dr. Hill. That course is available through him. So if you want to purchase either of those, you can contact me to get those two, because my first aid course will be ready probably in 4 months. And then the course that's for the Aroma Touch technique, that one is available right now. In addition, the books that I like, there's a website, eoebooks.com, EOE, so Essential Oils of the Earth, EOE, Essential Oils of the Earth, eoebooks.com. And that has lots of really high quality books. This one that I like the best, let's see what it's called. This one is the one I use every day. It's called the Essential Life book. And I think you can get it on eoebooks.com. Let me just check. But if not, you can get it on, I think, aromatools.com, eoebooks.com. The Essential Life book is really excellent. No, it doesn't have this one. It has Modern Essentials, which is highly recommended, and it has the Essentials of the Earth book, which I also love. Oh, and I forgot to mention some of these hormones and things like that for women is in the Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies by Stephanie Fritz, and she is a doula and midwife, and so she has that book, and you can just get that one from Amazon, Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies, and it's also hormones, so you can look at that one, and that one's just available on Amazon. Let's see, aromatools.com is the other website. Oh, Just let me check really quickly. Yeah. So aromatools.com has lots of really good books, and it has the Essential Life book that I like so much. So yeah, so good books are super important, and those are the ones I recommend.
So for those who are just getting started, I mean, I have a cabinet full, I admit, I have a cabinet full of oils.
Yeah.
You can't get anything else in there. I have my one entire shelf of my cabinet is nothing but oils, and because they work and I use them. And I'm like you, I don't like I prefer natural whenever I can. So, but for
Yeah.
someone who's just starting out, what are some of the essential oils that, if I got off of this and said, okay, I really need to start using essential oils, what are the essential oils that I need to get? What are the very first ones that I should go get?
Okay, so that's kind of a broad question. The answer to that is it depends on what you need. Okay, so when I meet with someone, I usually have a consultation with them and we discuss what they need, because I don't want you to purchase, like, I don't know, rose essential oil if you don't need that, if that's not something that's your body's needing. So think about what you need for your health and your situation, and then for your loved ones. Everyone in the household can use these, and so what would you like to have happen in your household? Would you like to just help for your own health, or do you want to help everyone? So the basics that everyone can use regardless of any health condition or things that they're trying to address is lemon, lavender, and peppermint. There's like 68 uses of those three oils just right there. So lemon, you can use it to just put it in your water. doTERRA's lemon, no internal use for other brands. So put it in your water, and it's a very gentle detox. Pregnant people, anyone can have lemon in their water. It tastes super yummy, very refreshing. So 2 or 3 drops in your glass of water, and you have a little gentle detox with lemon. You can also spray your counters down with a spray bottle full of lemon and distilled water. So just spray, and then you clean your counters with it. Or you can put it in your diffuser, or you can put it on a cotton ball by your bedside, or where someone's studying, to like have more bright and enlivened thoughts for activating your brain so it can be ready to study or something like that. So lemon essential oil is super versatile, and everyone can use it for any situation. And then peppermint is great. It's cooling when it's too hot outside and you need to spray off. Don't get it in your eyes, but you can just spray a little mist around your head, and it's very cooling. You can use it for if you have a tension headache. You can use it for inflammation. You can use it for fevers. You can use it for leg cramps. My son used to get leg cramps all the time. We use deep blue rub or peppermint for that when he'd wake in the night. So it has lots of different uses. It's wonderful for digestion. You can use it in a hot cup of water and have a nice peppermint tea. It's soothing for the throat. Like, you can put it on, like I had a little tickle in my throat. I just put the oil that I had here, Shinrin Yoku, but you could do peppermint with that. A drop on your thumb to the roof of your mouth opens up your airways and is very effective for lung support. So peppermint has a whole bunch of uses. And then lavender, we already talked about that. It's very calming. doTERRA's lavender is super potent, so I dilute that or I use it with other things, but it helps with skin. If you have like an eye situation of conjunctivitis, you can put 1 drop of lavender and 1 drop of tea tree plus 1 drop of coconut oil in your hand, and then put it around the eye bone of the eye, and do that every hour, and it'll clear your eye junk. So so many uses of lavender. Skin, like infections, calming, relaxing. Put it on the pillowcase, put it on a cotton ball. Tea tree and lemon on a cotton ball in the ear will take an ear infection out. Things like that. Just so many good uses. So lemon, lavender, peppermint, it's called the beginner's trio. And I don't know, that's highly, highly recommended. So if you want to support your immune system, on guard. If you want to support your inflammation, frankincense. So if you want a nature's antibiotic, oregano. So lots of different choices that you can have.
Wow, it sounds like there is a lot to learn. I've been using them for a while, and I know that I don't know everything. I still have to look things up sometimes to see what I should be using. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes I have something on my shelf and I'm like, why do I have this myrrh? What can I do with this? And so I use my book, and then I teach classes generally every Friday. And so we just go over things. Tonight we're having a class on heart health. And so we learn things all the time. And sometimes you forget what you learned. So you remind yourself by jumping into a course or an opportunity to learn, or also jumping into a book. And I use my book kind of like as the essential oils go-to, because lots of situations occur that we don't know how to solve them or whatever, but then the book gives us lots of ideas.
So if
So that's
someone wants
helpful.
to connect with you to get started with using oils or to find out more about how to use them, how do they find you?
Okay, cool. My Facebook page is Herbal Essentials. So there's other Herbal Essentials. So you have to find me, but it's facebook.com/herbal.essentials, I think it is. And then also I have a website, which is herbalessentials.tv/free plant list. And that will get you my top 10 herbs plant list. And then it'll put you into my mailing list so you can learn about herbs and essential oils. And then Instagram, oils4, the family. Those are some places that people can contact me easily.
Okay. And I'll put those links in the descriptions of the episode so that people can find you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, this has been fascinating. I mean, even for me, I learned a couple things. And like I said, I've been using oils for 24 years now.
Oh, longer than me, girly. That's a long time. That's great.
I discovered him when my dad was living with me, when kind of like you, he had a dog bite on his hand or something, and it got infected, and they tried all kinds of creams and pills and potions, and nothing seemed to be helping. So I started doing some research online, and I always have melaleuca oil. I always had melaleuca oil in the house.
Mhm.
I knew about it, but that was like the only oil I had at the time was melaleuca oil. And so I
Yeah.
got online and I did some research and I found out about calendula. And so I went out, and I happened to have that growing in my garden. So I went out and picked the petals and made like a tea and bathed his hand in the tea from the calendula petals, and then rubbed it all down with melaleuca oil. And I did that every day for just a couple days, and boom, cleared it right up. And that's all it took to make me a believer. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you see something happen, it's like, oh, wait a minute. I better pay attention to this.
So yeah, so then I started looking at all the oils, and I found the lavender oil to help me sleep. And then just it's been one thing after another. It's like, oh, there's an oil for that, I'm sure.
There's an oil for that. Yes, that's so true.
So yeah, so it's been fabulous having you on here. You even taught me a few things, so that was great. And
Yeah.
as always, comment, like, share, do all the stuff, because we're trying to grow this channel, and that helps us out a lot. Um, so
Right.
appreciate
Thank
every-
you so much for having me. I so appreciate you.
Hey, like I said, ladies got to know this stuff, because
Yes.
the oils work. We don't need to be filling our bodies full of toxic crap from, just
Yeah, for sure.
don't even get me on that little soapbox. There's several episodes where we have a big discussion over women and the medical field. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta do is go watch them. Okay. You will find
Yes, for sure.
I am not anti-doctor. There are some fabulous doctors out there. I owe my life to a doctor. I owe
Right.
that my child, my oldest daughter can walk normally. I owe that to a doctor.
Yeah.
But I've also had some experiences where it's like, yeah, okay.
That's not right. Okay, good.
So there's good and bad in everything. And yeah, anyway, just go watch the videos if you want to know. Okay.
Yeah,
They're
good idea.
out.
Check them out.
So thanks so much, Cherlynn, and I appreciate it. And tune in next week. We have some really great conversations coming. So you need to make sure you keep coming back and listening because we have a really cool panel discussion coming up about women in leadership positions and why it's so hard for us to get there.
Wow, that should be fascinating.
And it's not our fault. So anyway. All righty, my girl. Thank you so much. And we will see you all next episode.
All right, thank you.